get mic on. All right. I'm just gonna give it a couple seconds, so then our tweets will get out, or my tweet will get out there, and then your little thing will get out there. Okay, buddy.
It'd be on sometimes.
I love it. All right, I'm gonna start it. All right, guys, welcome to the MNC podcast. We're gonna be just breaking down some fantasy football, regular football, our picks of the week, and it's just me and Mike. Mike's on the other line. Mike, want to say what's up?
What is going on, everybody? It's gonna be a really, really fun, chill show. I look forward to doing this every week and talking some football with the boys.
Exactly. Mike knows a lot more than me. I'm just kind of on here for laughs because I don't really know much about football. So we're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna start with the game that happened last night between the Eagles and the Packers, and I think it was the first good Thursday night football game that we've had so far. I mean, we've had 3 shitty games, and then we finally have one that's good. And I mean, the Packers, in my opinion, should have won this game. 2 goal line stances, and they just absolutely goof on them. So what do you think about last night's game, Mike? What do you think about it?
I think that this was the first week that Aaron Rodgers actually looked good, and he targeted Devontae Adams a lot in last night's game, and I think that he could possibly emerge as a top receiver again in the league if Rodgers keeps it up. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, for Philadelphia, Jordan Howard, holy shit! I was playing against somebody in one of my big money leagues, and he had him sitting on the bench. I think he ended with 31 points. Holy, yeah, that's crazy. I lucked out with that, but it was a good game. But like you said, Packers definitely should have fucking won that.
I mean, you're at a first and goal, second and goal, and you don't hand the ball off to your number one running back. I don't know what they were thinking there. Then they end up going to fourth and goal, and they run this shitty. I don't even know what they were supposed to run. It was almost like a partial play action fake to Aaron Jones, and then Aaron Rodgers just throws the ball away. I mean, I don't really know what they were going with the first drive, and then they come back down, and I just saw it coming from a mile away. I knew they weren't going to run the ball again, and they just gave away. I mean, I think that was just a rookie coaching error too, and it happens. But they're now 3-1. And now Philly's actually 2-2, and they're looking a lot better than what they were before. I still think Carson Wentz has a lot to improve on. I'm telling you, I think he's just overrated right now. I'm not sold on him. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sold. I think a lot of people are stuck on the MVP Carson Wentz, and now it's he still is definitely not fully healthy in my opinion. He looks hurt. He still looks hurt out there.
Scared.
Yeah, he just does not look like himself. And I think a lot of these sports radio stations and stuff like that are bringing up the fact that the locker room isn't on his side, and I think that was an interesting aspect when I read about that. I think it's true because Nick Foles had all these guys wound up about him, and then they just fucking trade him. They just, see you later, Nick Foles. You won us a Super Bowl. You almost brought us back to another one, but we've had enough of you. Now Carson Wentz comes in 2-2. I think he's looking okay at best. I mean, somehow he was ranked 3rd, I think, on the I don't remember, it was some professional sports rankings for top 3 quarterbacks or something like that, and I don't know how that happened, but.
Also, on that note, I was playing against Nelson Aguilar in the league that we're in together, and he put up a fat 0 against me. So that's fucking sick. I know that James is probably pissed off about that, but that's the way of the road. I started Aaron Rodgers, I think 25, and Mason Crosby had 9, the Green Bay Kickers. So pretty decent night for me.
That was a good night for you. That was a good night.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially because Mason Crosby had those 2 early field goals to help you out, so that always helps. Get those on the board early.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so if you want, that I don't think we need to talk about that game too much. We all know what happened. The Packers completely blew it. I mean, shit happens. And then so we'll move on. The first game that's listed here is the Redskins versus the Giants. Now, if you guys don't know, the Giants, that is Mike's territory. Huge fan of the Giants over there. Team. Hey, I'll just start it off because he's a bias over there. No,
I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
In a non-biased opinion, I'm fucking all in this week on the Giants. I say if you have Daniel Jones, Evan Ingram, or Sterling Shepard on your fantasy teams, fucking fire them up. I think Daniel Jones, I think his ceiling is crazy, and I think that you should put Shepard and Ingram in just because I think Jones is going to abuse the shit out of them all. Awesome.
I completely agree. And I even put Gallman on my list. I picked him up in one of my fantasy leagues. I think this kid is going to get as many reps as Saquon got, and I think he's going to put up some points. the Redskins are just. I mean, what do we have good to say about the Redskins so far? They just continue. Like, yeah, they don't start Dwayne Haskins again this week after. What's his name gets absolutely abused? Who the hell is he? Casey Keenum, right? And he gets absolutely abused last week, and then they don't start Dwayne Haskins, who should be their QB2. Instead, I think they're putting Colt McCoy in this week, I believe.
For the running back situation and the Redskins, I'm staying away from that. They got Chris Thompson averaging 3.5 yards per carry, and an AP Adrian Peterson he's averaging 2.8, but. It's a crap show here. I'm not starting. I'm not high on any.
I'm not sold on anyone. The only person I'm sold on is Terry. Terry is a definite pickup. If I don't know how he'd even be on the waiver wire for anyone's league, but if he is, definitely pick him up or try to trade for him.
Have him keep an eye on his hamstring injury. I know that he did. I don't think he practiced today, so keep an eye on his hamstring injury, but. Yeah, I'm staying away from the Redskins as a whole.
Yeah, definitely. And so, guys, I'm gonna be kind of going in and out here too with the spreads. I'm huge into like the betting scene as well. So the spread for this game is +3. They're giving Washington 3 points here, and I would take that all day for the Giants. I think the Giants will win this game by at least 10 points. I don't see the Redskins even putting up any competition. I don't see this being a close game at all. I just don't think the Redskins will be able to. I think Colt McCoy will come in, and it will just be the typical Redskins scheme. Nothing will happen. There. So moving on to the next game that's listed, we have the Titans and the Falcons is up next. You want to start with that?
To be completely honest, this matchup bores the fuck out of me. Matt Ryan has been throwing crazy amount of interceptions. I can't trust him this season. I'm pretty high on Derrick Henry this year, even though his numbers are a bit inflated. And in terms of the Falcons, obviously, if you got Julio Jones, fire him up. Arguably best receiver in the NFL. But that's all dependent on if Matt Ryan can take his head out of his ass and complete some passes.
I completely agree. I'm looking at the NFL mobile app right now too, and it says Titans have a top 10 defense versus the Falcons, top 10 offense. So I mean, it should be definitely an interesting matchup. I think these two teams are still trying to find their path. I think the Titans are really set on Marcus Mariota, and I'm not set on him.
I'm not big on him at all.
I'm not set. Yeah, and I think they're so far into his ass. I just don't see them getting out of it. And I agree. I think Henry will continue to have a pretty solid year because they're going to feed him a bunch because they don't have. I mean, their offense is kind of in shambles right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And the Falcons realistically should win this game by a lot, but I don't know. Like you said, I don't trust Matt Ryan right now. I think he's just not playing like the Matty I used to play in this in this game.
I could be wrong, but I saw a stat last week that Matt Ryan already in the first 3 weeks has more interceptions than he had at like all season last season.
I would not doubt that at all. Honestly, he's been playing really, really poor football lately. Yeah. And the spread on this game is the Titans are the Falcons are actually, my bad, are giving 3.5 to the Titans. So Falcons are -3.5, Titans +3.5. It's one of those. I don't even know if I would even touch this. I can't trust the Falcons enough to even put 3.5 and ask that they're gonna win by 4. I don't even know if I can put that in their mouths. I don't know. That's tough. That's one of those I'd stay away from. It's just I just don't trust the Falcons at all there. So I think we'll move on to the next game. The next game is the Chiefs and the Lions. I think this is gonna be a really good game. This may be one of the best games of the week. Yeah, this may be one of the better games of the week. I mean, what can't you say about Patrick Mahomes? This kid is playing absolutely unreal football right now. I mean, he just came off a really good win against a tough-ass Baltimore team. I mean, this guy, I don't have like enough words to put, for this kid. He's literally playing like a Hall of Fame quarterback at a young-ass age. So, I mean, it's crazy. He's going to break all these records. It's nuts. He honestly may have another 50 touchdown year. 15. He already has that within freaking 3 weeks, honestly. No, but I don't know. Who would you pick in this game between the Lions and the Chiefs? I'm not sure.
I'm picking the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is way too elite. But in terms of like in like a fantasy standpoint, when it comes to like the Chiefs and the running back situation, I stay away from that. McCoy looks like he's the RB1, but I'm not really sold on it. If you got Sammy Watkins and Travis Kelce, I'd fire him up in your lineups. But the Lions, I'm not really sold on Stafford. I think he's a great quarterback, but I don't have him in any of my leagues for a reason. Kerryon Johnson, he's a decent running back too, flex position. The receivers there, Marvin Jones Jr. and Galladay. I think Marvin Jones Jr. has more targets and yards than Galladay.
He does.
But I still think that Galladay is Stafford's favorite target. So
I think he's the better wide receiver too. I think
he's
a solid wide receiver.
But
this game's tough. This game is tough. Detroit's defense has actually been pretty solid this year, which is kind of scary for teams that play them, because I was not expecting their defense to be as good as it is. But
I don't think anybody was.
Yeah, it's just so tough because I don't think I can go against Pat Mahomes. I think I'm gonna have to go KC here, but I think it's gonna be, like you said, I think it's gonna be a battle. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I'd put this. Let me see what the over under is for this game. Kansas City. Let's see if I can find on this list here. Yeah, so Kansas City, the over under right now is 55. I would take the over all day on that. I think this game, honestly, it may be in the 30s for both teams. I mean, this could be a really that big of a shootout. The only way it's not is if Detroit's defense somehow causes Pat Mahomes to turn over the ball. That's the only way I see this game somehow totally getting out of hands. But it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I wish this was almost the night game, but it's not for some reason. But Cowboys Saints should also be a game. We'll get that later. But all right. So the next game up will be the Browns versus the Ravens. What do you have to say about that?
The Browns are not giving anybody any excitement this year. We went into the season and everybody was excited to see what Baker was going to do with his targets, but really there's nothing to be excited about here. And I mean, we're only going into week 4, right? So we still got a lot of football left, and there's a lot of shit that can happen, but Baker has just been shit in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I know. But Ravens, I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's out of this world. I think he has crazy potential, and I like watching their offense.
I think the thing that's getting scary about Lamar Jackson, I even said it in the offseason, he was working a lot on his arm, and I think it's starting to show little by little. I think Kansas City definitely, like when they put pressure on him, it definitely showed that he still needs to work on it a lot more. But he has an absolute cannon of an arm.
He does. It's crazy.
Yeah, he has a cannon of an arm. So I mean, when he gets going, I see, the thing is, like, I want to hope for the Browns just because it's Cleveland and they just seem to always get the shit out of the stick, especially in football season. This is just, I mean, it's just a typical Browns thing. They start the year 1-2. They have an absolutely stacked offense and a pretty good defense. I just don't even see them winning this game. I don't even think it's going to be close. I think it's just going to be another Browns upset that they're just going to maybe put up 10, 15 points and Baltimore's just going to run them over. And I just don't see them going anywhere in this game.
No, I agree.
Let me see the spread, just so everyone, for the betting people out there, the spread on this game is, where is Baltimore? The spread is, wow, okay, so they're even the people that are making these lines, Baltimore's giving the Browns 7 points, so Baltimore has to win by pretty much 7 or 8, and that's a pretty hefty line. I'd probably still go Baltimore just because how well Lamar's been playing. Even against Kansas City, he had that great run at the end of that game. I mean, what an athlete! That was one of my favorite runs I've seen so far this year by QB. I mean, that he juked the lineman out, and that was just crazy.
Yeah, he's just so versatile, Jackson.
Oh yeah.
It's nice. It's like refreshing watching him play.
Exactly. Do you have any picks for fantasy this week for this matchup?
Obviously, Lamar Jackson, fire him up. I don't mean if you have OBJ, you have to play him. Say with Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
I think and Juco and.
Sadly, Joko, I'm pretty sure he's still out with a broken wrist.
Yeah, I
think he's gonna be out for a little while. Yeah.
And I don't know who their backup. He only got one target. Last week. I mean, granted, it was like a 3-yard touchdown, but
yeah.
I'm not really sold on that.
Yeah, that's tough.
This is a boring game. Mark Ingram, obviously, if you got him, you got to put him. He's been putting up crazy numbers.
Especially last week, he went off. I mean, he put up more numbers last week than he had in the first 2 weeks combined. So I mean, it's one of those games. I'd probably play Ingram, but I mean, I don't know. I think he's maybe like 15 points. I don't think he's gonna get nearly as many as he got the last week. I mean, that was just ridiculous. That's like saying that what's called. Jordan Howard is going to come back and fucking put up numbers next week too, and I just don't think that's going to happen, So I think that's it's going to be tough. I think Ingram, it just depends what running backs you have in your league, but definitely would consider starting him. So let's move on. The Raiders and the Colts is next. I think this will be an interesting matchup. Jacoby Brissett has been an absolutely amazing QB so far this year which I thought was surprising. Not the best PPR QB, but he's been a really good actual just normal QB in the NFL. Yeah. Who do you think is going to win this game, and who would you take fantasy wise, or if you would take anyone fantasy wise in this game?
I mean, I'm not a Raiders fan, but I believe in the Raiders offense a lot. I'm not starting anybody from either one of these teams, but I do like the tight end on Oakland, Darren Waller.
Oh, yep, Darren Waller. Yep, he's been playing really well. I tried to trade for him.
I tried to trade for him in our league, but couldn't really get a deal done. But I really like Darren Waller. But from both teams, I'm not really high on anybody. But I don't know.
I'm starting Josh Jacobs in one of my leagues. I think he actually, first of all, Saquon Barkley went down in one of my leagues, so that's the only reason I'm pretty much starting Josh Jacobs. But I think he has a good chance of getting a lot of throwing targets this week. The Colts do have a pretty decent defense. They're not the best, not the worst. I just think he'll get a lot of targets. This may be a mid-tier scoring game. I don't see it being high scoring. I'll be picture it being like a 10-7 game. It honestly depends how Derek Carr does in this game. I think Jacoby Brissett's kind of found his spot with the Colts. I think he may have a pretty solid game. I mean, they're 2-1 right now. They're just playing good ball, and I think it could be an interesting game. I personally think the Colts will probably win this game. I wish I could say Derek. I've tried to pick up Derek Carr multiple times, and he's just let me down multiple times in the years past. Ever since his MVP year, so long ago now. Yeah, I just don't know. I just can't trust the Raiders in this matchup. The spread on this game too is Indy's actually giving the Raiders +7. I don't think I would even touch that game. I think this is going to be a close one, probably a 3-point game. But yeah, I still think Indy comes out with it. And another person I'd put in for fantasy would be T.Y. Hilton. I think he has a potential to go off this week against the Raiders. I could picture that doing well, but that's like the only thing. Like you said, you already mentioned the Wallman. What the hell is the tight end's name? Gallman.
Darren Waller.
Waller, that's what it is. Waller. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything in that game, fantasy and everything else was. So we'll move on to the Panthers and Texans game.
I took no notes on this game. It should be an interesting game. I'm favoring the Texans to win. In terms of fantasy, you got to start obviously DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not really high on anybody from. I don't know. You got to take this one. I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I didn't take notes for any of these games, but I agree with you. It is one of those games that's kind of just a question mark. I mean, Kyle Allen played really well last week. You got to give him that. Can he do it against this Texans defense? I mean, we've only seen 1 week out of him. I can't say. I mean, I'm starting one of my leagues because I literally don't have a QB. I'm taking the risk and hoping that he has some unreal upside. And the Texans have let up a bunch of points this season so far. So it's just kind of one of those toss-up games. I don't know. I think it just depends how Watson does. I mean, if Watson just starts throwing the ball a bunch to Hopkins and they get going, I think this game's over. But I don't know. It's just definitely a different matchup. Honestly, if Kyle Allen keeps playing well, if he plays how he did last game in the entirety until Cam comes back, Carolina's going to have an issue on their hands on who they're going to bring back. If they're going to bring back an injured Cam, who's probably still won't be 100%, or if they want to leave this kid in for the year and test him out, because Cam just has not been right these last 2 years. I've been saying it to all my friends. He's just injured, and it's just I don't know what Carolina wants, but if they want to win, I don't think they can start Cam in my opinion. So I mean, they're going to have to really look into this. And the spread on this game, just so everyone knows, is Panthers +4. So Texans are giving the Panthers 4 points. I would personally probably take the Texans, but I yet again, it's just a lot of weird spreads this week. I just don't know. It just really depends on how Deshaun Watson plays. I think Deshaun Watson will probably go off, but yet again, the defense, will they let up a lot of points? Will they not? I mean, how well will Kyle Allen play? There's a lot of question marks in this game. It's tough,
Yeah.
And then we already went over the Browns-Ravens. Down to the Patriots versus the Bills. Do you want to start this?
I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win this game. It kind of hurts me to say that. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a New York sports fan, and they're playing the Bills. But I think the Patriots are going to win. But I think this is a real test to see how Josh Allen performs. I don't really like anybody on the Bills. I think Devin Singletary should be coming back this week off his hamstring injury. But in terms of the Patriots, Brady's a must start. And I'm not really too high on any of the Patriots running backs in terms of fantasy. They got like 100 running backs that play. So,
yep.
I think the Patriots. I think it's going to be a good game, and I want the Bills to win. But I think the Patriots are gonna win this one.
I agree with you, and obviously I'm a homer, so I want the Patriots to win regardless. But now what I wrote down, and I would not put, if you have a better, a decent better QB, I would not start Tom Brady this week. I have a feeling that this is just going to be one of those Patriots versus Bills games where Brady just does not have that best of the game, but they still pull out the win. It's just the Bills always give us troubles. I don't know what it is. Even this year, I mean, they've been playing pretty well this year, so I think it could just be one of those games, and this could be one of those upset games where, I mean, I could see the Patriots losing. I don't think they will, but I could picture it. Josh Allen, they always struggle with rushing QB, so Josh Allen definitely we'll see how they do. I mean, we'll see how elite, honestly, this New England defense is, because I think right now they've shown to be a top 3, but yet again, it's a bunch of crappy competition, so we'll see this week if they're legit against a rushing QB and how they'll adapt to that. So I think it's definitely, I still think the Pats are going to win, but it's just a matter of can they stop Josh Allen's run game?
Yes.
And
Speaking of the Patriots defense, dude, I played against the Patriots defense. I don't know if it was last week or the week before when they played the Dolphins.
Yeah,
they put like 35
against the Dolphins. Yeah,
I got blown out. It was week 2. I got blown out because of the fucking Patriots defense. I was pissed.
Yeah, they put up 35 points. By the way, that was me that you played. I'm pretty sure. Don't I have the Pats defense?
It was my other league. I don't think I played
your other league. Oh, okay, yeah. Then because I destroyed whoever I played that week because I had the Pats defense. Yeah, but that's pretty much all we got to say about that. The line of that game for the Pats is Pats are given 7.5, and I see that's just one I would just never touch. Just knowing the history behind the two teams, 7.5 points is a lot of points. A full touchdown, I just don't see that happening. I'd probably take the Bills there on the spread. Let's see here. Who do we got next? Oh, we already did Panthers. Chargers and the Dolphins is who we got next. If you want to start with that, I'm pretty sure you said you took no notes on this. Not that you really need to take any notes. This is going to be our segment that we just
fire up everybody you have on the Chargers. Fucking play them all.
Hey, everyone. And speaking of which, about the Chargers, Justin Jackson was just, he's not playing this week. He was just said he was in like walking cast or walking boot or whatever the heck it is. And he's not playing this week. And so supposedly Melvin Gordon will be getting a couple touches this weekend. I don't know if he's going to be getting that much, so I don't know if he's worth starting, but I definitely would start Eckler this week if we have Eckler. I have him in one of my leagues, so I'll be starting him, obviously. Yeah. And then obviously, Keenan now, and do anyone that's on the that's even on the Chargers depth chart, just put them in. They're probably going to get 10 plus points. This Miami team is just horrible.
Play the Chargers left tackle as your quarterback. I guarantee he gets you 103 points.
Literally, Miami is it really is just a shit show over there.
It's a joke. It's like watching the worst high school football team.
It is that bad. I mean, I just last week I thought, okay, the spread right now is ridiculous. This is the third week in a row the spread's above, or I think it was the second week in a row the spread was above 20 on Miami. Will they cover it? Hopefully. And then they didn't cover it, and I'm like, this is the end of their season. They're gonna probably go defeated and not win a game.
Yeah. And
they showed that they don't want to win. I don't think any of these players on the team want to actually win. So I think that's also an issue. And it's just, this game's gonna be a fucking shit show. I wouldn't be surprised if it was another one like the Pats where it would just be a fucking shutout 43-0 or something win.
Yeah.
And let me see what the spread. I mean, I would imagine it's gonna be pretty bad. The spread is Chargers giving you 14.5 to the Dolphins. I'd take that any day of the week. I probably would have taken 20 if I'm being real here, but I don't see the Dolphins putting up more than 6 points. I don't think Josh Rosen and that O-line, that shitty O-line that is right in front of them, can do anything.
We are going to start a segment on this podcast. Actually, it's going to be a pretty fun segment. Every week, we're going to predict how many points the Dolphins are going to lose by. So if you're watching on Twitch or wherever you're watching, put down in the comments below where or how much the Dolphins are going to lose by. I'm going to go ahead and say a whopping 30. I'm going all in on the Chargers this week. I think that it's just going to they're just going to pound them. But I want to hear everybody's guesses.
I'm going to go even higher. I think that's going to be that brutal of a game because I think Eckler may actually put up more points than he did in week 1. And I think that's a very bold prediction. I don't know if it's going to be true, but I think it's a very, it could be because, first of all, it's the Dolphins. And second of all, Eckler is going to try to show his worth to this team with Melvin Gordon coming back. So I potentially think this could be a 35-point game that the Chargers win by here. I don't see the Dolphins stopping how their offense is just too many weapons, and the Chargers are coming off a couple of losses. They're 1-2 on the season. They need this win, and they're just gonna put a beat down on the Dolphins because of it. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a fun game to watch. Let's just say that it's gonna be a fun game to watch, especially if you're a Chargers fan. That's gonna be a fun game. And then moving on now to the Bucs versus the Rams.
This is gonna be a good game. I'm excited for this.
I agree. Start this. You can start.
I don't really know who I'm favoriting to win, but in terms of a fantasy standpoint, I'm not really huge on Mike Evans. I mean, he had a big week last week. I still think Godwin will have better numbers this week. Mm-hmm. And on the Rams, I have Robert Woods in one of my leagues, and he's just been having a really, really shit start to the season. Mm-hmm. But he's definitely due for a big game. Don't know when that's going to be. I have him sitting on the bench this week. I'm starting Sterling Shepard. But if you got Cooper Kupp or Brandon Cooks, I'd definitely fire him up in your lineup. But
definitely,
I think this is going to be a great game.
Yeah, this is like what's called the Chiefs-Lions game from before. I think it's going to be another slate, hard effort game. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as that type of game, but I think it would be. If I had to say, probably both teams in the 20s. That's what if I had to predict. I think the Rams end up pulling it out just because I just don't trust Jameis Winston. But
no, me either.
I think Goff has proven himself. He's a pretty legit QB, and I think they'll probably win this game by maybe 3-4 points. And I think honestly, Gurley will show up this week. I think they'll give start giving a little bit more handoffs to Gurley. Gurley will start running a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I think they're starting to lightly get him back into it. They don't want to give him as much because obviously his knee is just shot if they give him the same that he got last year.
Yeah.
So I think it should be interesting. I definitely am with you. I think you have to start Cooks and Kupp. I think both of those are must starts. Woods is definitely iffy. He's been playing bad, so he could have a breakout game this game. So you just don't know. Yeah, maybe as a flex. I definitely would not start him as a wide receiver 1 or 2. That would just not be a good idea.
Yeah.
But he could have a breakout week this week. Who knows? The Bucs have been playing pretty good ball, and so are the Rams. So I mean, it should be an interesting game. I really think this is definitely a must-watch game.
Do you know what happened to the Buccaneers kicker? Is he still on the team? Is he still on the roster? Or
that is a good point. I don't know. Yeah, that was
3 missed field goals.
The rookie kicker just not showing up. It just sucked. Yeah, 3 missed field goals for game winning or game losing field goal. Yeah, that sucks. But the Rams are trying to maintain their undefeated record too. So I'm assuming they'll probably be showing up hard. So we'll move on to the next game, which is the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. This should be another. I think this will be a solid game too.
I'm very excited for this game. I love watching the Cardinals play. I love watching. Yep. I got Kyler Murray in one of my leagues. I'm high on him. I like David Johnson. He hasn't had he's had a solid start to the season. He hasn't had a great start, but and surprisingly, Larry Fitzgerald has been showing out this year. It's like he's young again.
I mean, it could be his retirement end off. Maybe he's retiring after this year. I don't know how I know, but I mean, I agree with you. He's playing unreal. The young and Christian Kirk, who I have in one of my leagues, has actually been playing really consistent so far. And this team it's fun to watch. It definitely is fun to watch. I'm looking at their record. I still can't believe they're 2-1, but I mean, it makes sense because Kyler Murray's just getting involved. He's getting back into it. They need to get him an O-line. I think that will come. I mean, he's proven that he can throw the ball. He's proven that he can do all this stuff. And imagine him with a decent, even just a half decent O-line. I think this would be a much better team. And hopefully this week it will be, the Seahawks. They're not the Seahawks of 2 years ago where they have the absolutely filthy defense. So it could be like a really high scoring game too. Honestly, in this one, depending on how the Seahawks play. But yeah,
I love Tyler Lockett on the Seahawks. I'm in love with him.
I traded him last year, and I'm just very upset with myself. That was before Doug Baldwin retired, and now it's it's the Tyler Lockett show, and it's fun to watch. So he's an unreal wide receiver. This game, here's another one I just don't know if I would even touch. The Seahawks are giving the Cardinals 6 points. I think that's a lot. This could be another one of those field goal games like the freaking Tampa Bay game last week with the Giants. I don't know. This could be a shootout again. I think a lot of close games will come this week. I would be very surprised if this was a blowout game. Let's just say that. It could happen. Maybe the Seahawks get off to an early start and just push on with it, but I don't see that happening in this. So I'd probably take the Cardinals with that +6. And then moving on to the Vikings and the Bears. I think this will be another good matchup too this week.
I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think
I do agree.
Like two very high-rated defenses going up against each other. But Dalvin Cook, holy shit, that guy can run the fucking ball.
That dude is crazy. He's been playing extremely well. I'm looking right now at the NFL mobile app right now, and it says the Bears are 15-3 at home versus the Vikings since 2001. And now just seeing that stat, I think I'm taking the Vikings in this game. Now after seeing that stat, I am taking the Vikings. I do not trust Mitch Trubisky. He has not proven himself these first 3 weeks. I don't think he is. I don't think he's good. I don't know. I thought he was good last year, and now he's just has off to a very cold start. And if there's ever a week for him to show up, this would be the week he needs to show up. I don't know how they're even 2-1. I've been saying I think there should be an 0-3 team right now. But they managed to scrape out 2 wins, and yeah, it's just I don't know how that happened. But I'm gonna take the Vikings in this one. I think the Bears drop to 2-2 after this week.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who are you taking in this game? If you had to take one,
I'm taking the Vikings in this game just for the sole purpose that I love Dalvin Cook, and I think that he's statistically the best running back in the NFL right now. But the Vikings are a fun team to watch. But then again, it's really all dependent on what the Bears defense do to.
I agree. I think that's the end cons. Honestly, if the Bears defense can force, I'd say 2 turnovers, I think that gives the Bears a good chance to win this game. Yep. But if they can't force any turnovers, I don't see the Vikings losing. And the spread on this game is the Bears giving the Vikings 1.5. I would take the Vikings all day on that. I just think the Vikings will win this game, and I think just having the 1.5 points that proves even more that you should take that. So let's see what other games we got going on here. We got the night game, the Sunday night game, which is Jags versus the Broncos, right? Is that who we got?
No. Sunday night is Cowboys Saints.
Oh, Cowboys Saints. I'm reading the thing. I'm reading on stream while I was just freaking close. Yeah, Cowboys Saints. That's what we got. So what do you think of this game?
Cowboys are looking great this season. Saints. I'm not really too sure, honestly. I'm taking the Cowboys to win the game. In terms of fantasy, I don't have anybody from either team. I've never. I mean, this is gonna sound crazy, but I've never been high on fucking. Why can't I think of his name? Fucking Jesus Christ! Running back from the Cowboys.
Oh, Zeke.
Ezekiel Elliott. Holy shit!
Yeah.
He's great. I've never been high on him. I ever since the whole him holding out thing. It's just like he's a great running back. I don't think he's worth that much money.
I completely agree. He got really overpaid, and now they have to pay Dak a bunch because. And first of all, and I think Dak's a good QB. I don't think he's a great QB. I think he's looking like a great QB because their O-line is just absolutely
phenomenal,
unbelievable.
Beasts.
So I don't see him getting paid that much, but Jerry Jones is going to offer him a load of money, and then they probably won't be able to pay Amari Cooper, and that would be a huge loss to them if they can't do that. But yeah, I think in this is going to be a close game. Teddy Bridgewater actually played really well last week for the Saints. I was very surprised that they ran up the score that high on the Seahawks. That was pretty crazy.
Did you see his locker room speech after the game? That was awesome.
No, I missed it. Was it good?
Great. It was great. He was just like, I appreciate you guys for accepting me. It was really cool.
That's pretty sick. That's awesome. Good for Teddy Bridgewater. It's good to see him come back too. It's been a while since we've even seen his name for a starting QB position.
No, definitely.
After all the injuries and shit he went through, that's tough. But yeah, it was good to see him do well, and I think it's just tough because I think, like I mentioned, the O-line is just so good for the Cowboys. I could picture Zeke going off in this game, but the Saints defense has been playing really well. So it's just so tough. I don't know who would you take in this game if you had to choose one. I don't know.
I'm taking the Cowboys. Just because they've proved themselves throughout this whole season, and we already know what their offensive line can do. But it's still up in the air. I think how long is Drew Brees out for?
I think they said 6 weeks. I believe it was either 6 to 8 weeks. I'm pretty sure it was the time.
I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Cowboys, but so I'm hoping the Saints can win this, but I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game.
So the spread on this game is the Cowboys giving the Saints +3, and I feel like with that spread alone, I have to take the Cowboys. The thing I gotta say is this is by far the first test that the Cowboys are gonna have to go through. They've played a bunch of crappy teams. I mean, last week they beat a shitty ass Miami Dolphins. We already went over that earlier on the show. Yeah. But I just don't think they've played anyone good. And I think even with what's called Drew Brees being out, the Saints are still a really good team. I mean, Kamara last week, what an absolute showing he put up. Yeah. And I think he'll be able to do that again. I think the Cowboys defense won't be able to stop him, but I think overall, I don't think Mike Thomas will have that great of a game. I think he'll still have a pretty mediocre game, and I just don't see the Saints winning this game just purely because of how dominant Dak has been, and I think they'll bring that confidence into this game and win it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that game. I missed a game. That was my fault. I missed the Jags versus the Broncos. That was actually the earlier game. We didn't go over that one, right? So
I don't think so.
I don't think we went over that game, so we'll go over that game real quick. Not honestly one of my favorite games, definitely of this weekend. I'm not a huge
Jacksonville's
fan of either.
defense looked great last week.
They did. They looked great. Minshew looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. He looked, yet again, another good week out of Minshew. I was very surprised. Traded him in one of my leagues for a second
hilarious. Round. He's so funny.
Oh, he's the Baker Mayfield of the Jags. Dude. Except he actually has been showing up for his team, so maybe a little different.
This matchup's so boring, though.
It is. It's a boring matchup. Honestly, just out of pity, I'm just gonna, not even pity, just because I like Minshew, I'm just gonna take Minshew. Honestly, I'm gonna take Minshew and the Jags over Denver. I just don't see.
I agree.
Right now, what's called the Broncos are giving Jacksonville +3. I see Minshew just seeing that, laughing it up in his jockstrap in the locker room, and going out and throwing 4 touchdowns. So that's what I think is going to happen. I take the Jags all day in that. What do you say? You take the Jags as well?
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags 100%. I probably won't even watch the game. I mean, I got Jacksonville's defense playing, but.
Yeah, that's gonna be a weird game. I'll probably still watch it just because it's football, and football's football. Football's love, football's life. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be kind of one of those games. So moving on to the Monday night game. I can't believe we already got through all this that quickly. I feel like we put some good input in too. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh, another game that I'm looking at just as like the Jags and the Broncos. I don't really give a crap about it.
Yeah, boring.
It's a bunch of boring players.
Nothing
bunch
exciting
of boring
here.
teams. Like, I mean, it's just this is just I don't even know what to say about this. Like, is Mason Rudolph going to come out and throw 4 touchdowns? I don't think so. Maybe he'll throw 2 and 250 yards, and the Pittsburgh will win. I think Pittsburgh probably will win this game. It's a battle of the 0-3 teams. Pittsburgh kind of needs to get
siding with you there.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh needs this win, and I don't think Andy Dalton really gives a shit. So he just cares about the paycheck, and I don't think the Bengals are anything special. So I don't think anything good is coming from the Bengals this week. I didn't realize both these teams were 0-3, but
I think if you have Juju on your fantasy team, I think you should try to trade him. You can probably still get him or sell him for really, really high value. Mm-hmm. I just can't see him having a really good season. There's just not exciting there,
especially with like a young and inexperienced QB with Mason Rudolph. I just don't like, because teams are just gonna know. They're gonna know that they can just double team what's called Juju the entire game, and then who else does he have to throw to? I mean, they don't have many receivers. I mean, what do they have? Dante Moncrief, right? I mean, I don't see anyone that's special on their team anymore, and I think the Pittsburgh really screwed themselves over with a bunch of the shit they've done in the past, and I think. Now Ben out, it's just going to prove even more that their team is just not nearly as good as they thought they were going to be this year. So I think it's kind of starting to rebuild for them this year and the next. I don't know how many years Ben has left with them, especially after this injury. I don't know.
So annoying.
Yeah, he's just a locker room head case, and that whole team, until they fire the coach and they fire Ben, I think that team's kind of iffy. Yeah. I honestly, and just fantasy wise, I don't even know if I take anyone in this game. Like, who do you take?
Either. I take nobody.
I don't think there's someone you would take. I don't like James Conner. I think he's definitely, he got overhyped last year, and now he's just proving it. And, Juju maybe would be the only person I'd even consider, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And I think that's it. I think we just got a wrap on the teams. Oh, just to cover that. So Pittsburgh is giving 3.5 to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'd easily take Pittsburgh in that. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game by 10. Yeah. Definitely low scoring though. I'd say if they win by 10, it would be like maybe like a 17 to like 7 game. Like that's how low scoring. I don't picture this
game being anywhere higher. Game, but it's a Monday night game, so you got to fucking get some snacks and watch it.
You got to deal with it. You know, it's start of the week. You might as well watch some football. It may be boring, but might as well get it done.
Yep.
And that's it for the week, guys. If you guys are watching this on YouTube or hearing about it somewhere else and you're getting clips, because we're obviously going to be trending all over the place because me and Mike are amazing. But if you hear about it, anywhere, make sure you come drop a follow on my Twitch. Twitch.tv/CamBills. Make sure you follow both of our Twitters. They're on the screen right now. And we're going to be doing this every single Friday. It's going to be an absolute blast. We're just going to go over every single time. We're going to go over the previous game on Thursday night, and then head into the weekend. I'll give you my intake on who you should take in the spreads, and Mike will give you more of the background in the fantasy. So I think that's pretty. We covered a good amount here. That was our first time doing this. So I think we did pretty well. What do you think, Mike?
I think that was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing this every week. And like he said, just leave a like on the video if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're watching it on Twitch, make sure you're following the stream. And it's just a fun time. I'm gonna be looking forward to this every single week.
Yeah, this is definitely a chill, fun experience. We're gonna just give you quick, 40 to an hour experience. It's not gonna be anything long, and we're just gonna give you our honest opinions. That's pretty much it. And if you guys want to come watch it live. If you're on YouTube right now, you missed it. We did this yesterday live, so make sure you go drop a follow on my Twitch. My bad. We were live on my Twitch, so twitch.tv/CamBills, and our Twitter's on the stream on the screen. Make sure you follow those. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys. Mike, you want to say a peace real quick?
Peace. Make sure you follow us. The fuck.
Yeah. Peace, guys.
Peace.